I'm saying watching more car if you ready by Badwam Jimmy so as you can accident in one some nana. We actually video come on. But maybe I want our hair and I'm bed in Chas good drink crime at a bro high 512 Fanofa Street. Multi TV studios, Badwam, and I'm paying so you're transfer. I'm saying now, think of Markra, meaning you penny rock a secret and I eating Comoga crabby fan when she be a so about 4 bottom of baby. And which Uncle Mobia, the better so. Now, the baby, I want to say, so I mean, Mukaima, you remove few more mountains, so when you say more offices, any baby out here, you know, Edichia, Shronkoni, Edema, Yedasa Papa, multitvworld.com/streams and also myjoyonline.com Adom TV live. But before I know Musim Kunya and Nano pay a Inuya Penny Kwasipra Junior 74 Edema, the insight, the Bocrata was here watching. The Biaboko. So, and Inuya Penny a Daniel Ni Kwate Titus Glover, one a Mashibi Journey Edema Tema East, about to pesa so or a Encramantemoya. Over the Mengabo. I don't pay some bang, and I eat home come up. And I no pay if you are no pay chrono. A doctor fortunately said emergency cases. One more share. Sabe, some question na ubida stretch as soon as the nequa. Yes, no. So, Uda, if ye now you're from cow. Now, Utumika could dry as Sabia. Yes, show. So one cow wo baby na ye do kwaya sabia ye hwew emergency chese mpofiri mu ade beto bia ye do be kwaya sabia no doctor force say nya dia wo mo ebehwew na ni nyina gina twema mentwe a ebisa bre ato wo mo ene aban tem efa wo mu sika bia wo mo chese akaka mu a ye ntwia emfa ma wo mo aban chese sadi dia disappointed chese ye wo mo eyayi papa papa se akoba ne sei esan se na nko mu gidi se gankuta ho die bia nka wo na doctor fo atwe no e bia ombehe sa de nanim na nka wo matimi ahwe ye behe ni akwa se so ampa senti hwini wa ebetimi aye afa ho ana na obeka ya na wo twetwe mu na doctor fo no ye se anka wo mo ba be withdraw emergency services no wo mo de krata abeto abontin se enam nsem bia amanfo bia kan panifo bia kan kuoku ahodo bia kan ntino na wo mo de omano atum ntino sa adwe no ma twe asensan nti die na akoba many emergency services no almost so married draw you be this as me ho enkomo wo Supreme Court in the same election petition hearing and na day 4 na Dr. Baumi abesa kugina dakam ama ya toto na no ebisa na nimu nsem wo sobo a wo mo e ato electoral commission say afi 2012 abato na ekoe no ya fa ba bi ankoye nti no o me de akoto e court batan anim na ato dazi kire say na de Baumi a Ujapa ni ebeso egu na pampam nsemo a ebe pem no nya de a obetimi yi eno ho ano na imani Ghana fo so ya to Ghana fo nyina nim se mpaebo no yabo kakra ye yabo a yenye ose ye gidie ne yemanyuma mram yabo mpai ne kakra de mo mampani mahama ya fe yemfa akwan ahodo so practical ways ye betimi de abo mo mampani mfie na de ahye ne sa no obetimi aye adwuma na abo a o mahinyara ene nsema ahodo aka or ensemimu or text messages 1760 na email kabatmajoyonline.com na quickly sir Dr. for instance you know yenti enu free hotel na afi yemra yem panelists no mo video mu ha Minister of Information and Media Relations Mahama Ayariga Awahama se ni kodin ko Mr. Ayariga, thank you for joining us here on Multi TV and good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good and I hope you are doing good too. It's quite unfortunate and unpleasant news that doctors have had to withdraw emergency services. We have seen a statement you have issued, and saying that government is disappointed at the leadership of the Ghana Medical Association. To what extent is this disappointment coming from?
Well, good morning to your listeners. The leaders of the Ghana Medical Association, you recall, embarked on their strike and they raised a couple of issues. Topmost was the issue of the payment of the arrears for the market premium for 2012. And government has been meeting with them and other stakeholders and negotiating on these issues. You recall the government provided a schedule of payment which they did not accept. But after further discussions and negotiations and a rearrangement of the schedule and some additions, they finally accepted a schedule that looks as follows: that in May 2013, government will pay them for 4 months. In July 2013, government will pay them for another 4 months. In September 2013, government will pay them for another 4 months. And then in June 2013, government will pay them for 2 months. And then in August 2013, government will pay them for another 2 months. This agreement was signed by the president of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Kwabena Opoku-Edusei. And in this same agreement, they raised the issue of conversion difference and the pensions, because the argument has been that their conversion difference has affected their basic salary, and that is going to affect their pensions. This was recognized as one of the post-migration issues after the implementation of the single spine salary structure. And this was in addition to other post-migration issues that the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and the implementers of the single spine salary structure discovered. So in this same agreement signed by Dr. Kwabena Opoku-Edusei, paragraph 4 says that the issue of conversion difference and pension is being dealt with by the Single Spine Post-Migration Technical Committee and government, and the Ghana Medical Association will ensure commitment to the process. So this is the agreement signed by Dr. Kwabena Opoku-Edusei on the 11th of April, this same April, and agreeing first to the schedule of payment, and secondly, agreeing to this statement that the issue of conversion difference and pension is being dealt with by the Single Spine Post-Migration Technical Committee, and government and the GMA will ensure commitment to the process. Now, this Single Spine Post-Migration Technical Committee is a committee of the Public Services Joint Standing Negotiating Committee. And this committee, then after signing this agreement, had a meeting with the Ghana Medical Association and briefed them on their mandate, and also heard from Ghana Medical Association how the conversion difference is going to affect their pensions. So they then gave Ghana Medical Association an assurance that the views and issues raised by the Ghana Medical Association and the concerns regarding the social security will form part of the work of the committee, and the committee will present its report by 25th of this month. So clearly, there is an agreement by the GMA that this issue of the conversion difference and its impact on their pensions will be dealt with by the appropriate technical body, and that both and the GMA will commit themselves to that technical body. Now, this technical body has met with the leadership of GMA, has heard from them, has also given them timelines within which to deliver on their report for consideration by all the parties. In spite of all this, GMA then announces the escalation of the strike. I mean, clearly, government is disappointed because you can't have a leadership that you will enter into such agreements with, they will sign it, and then the following day, they will go and do just the direct opposite.
Ms. Ariga, I mean, clearly, I mean, last night, as at 6 p.m., when their General Secretary, I'm referring to the GMA, Dr. Frank Sribo, spoke to our star station, Joy FM, the understanding was that, and I'm quoting him, government had 2 weeks to resolve the issue, which would have avoided the second phase of the strike, but they did nothing about it. And they referred to this conversion rate difference that you have spoken about. Today, as it stands, they have withdrawn the emergency services. I have seen the release that you have issued, particularly some of the issues that you have outlined, that, emergency services, those that go through some of the issues and challenges are likely to go to or are supposed to be responding to. Are they enough, to resolve this impasse as we struggled for a resolution?
Well, I mean, the fact is that the Ghana Medical Association, I mean, with all due respect, and I believe that every citizen can demand of their government a style of governance or an approach to governance, but that is, a right that as any citizen you can demand. But then also, we must think beyond just our individual, interests and look at the broader national interest. The issue of the impact of the conversion difference on their pensions is one of several post-migration challenges. And so to deal with all the issues arising from post-migration, the Public Services Joint Standing Negotiating Committee met and set up a technical committee. The chairman is part of that group. And the technical committee is supposed to deal with all the issues arising, all the challenges arising from the migration to single spine. And their issue is one of the issues. And what they are asking for is to isolate their issue and to give government a deadline and demand that government must deal with their issue separately. When labor unions and all stakeholders have come together, recognize those issues, and have set up a technical committee, and that technical committee is working with the GMA and has in fact given them timelines within which to deliver. And in spite of that, GMA decides that they are going to embark on the worst of the measures that any doctor can embark on, which is to withdraw medical services. And that is why, emergency medical services. That is why government is questioning what their real motive is. Because you say arrears. Government has agreed with you on the payment of the arrears. And you said you wanted a written statement by the finance minister giving directives specifically when the money will be paid and etc. Finance minister has given those directives. You said you wanted government to deal with the conversion difference. Government is in the process, and you yourself signed this agreement committing yourself to the process. And as part of that, you turn around and then declare a withdrawal of emergency medical services. What is your motive?
What do you think is your motive?
I mean, that is a question all of us should be asking as Ghanaians. What they want us to now do? What do they want us to do? What exactly do they, the GMA leaders, want us to do? Because you have an issue. The issue is a broad issue that affects the entire public sector. Then the appropriate and legitimate bodies, the Joint Standing Negotiating Committee, meets, sets up a technical committee. You are part of that body. And they give the committee a clear mandate and timeline to work on the issue and bring a report. And then you now say that you will not adhere to that after you have signed an agreement with government saying that you will adhere with that. So the question is, what is your motive? Is it that you just want to disrupt the entire health delivery system of the country? Or do you have issues that you recognize are being dealt with appropriately by the competent bodies of both government and the stakeholders? What is the motive?
Well, the GMA says that from today, if there should occur any form of death, it should be blamed on government for its lack of faith, in the implementation of the process.
I am holding an agreement signed by the president of the GMA, and in that agreement, he says that GMA is committing itself to the process of addressing this post-migration challenge. He signed it. Nobody held his hand and signed it. He signed it on the 11th of this month, 2013, that the issue of conversion difference and pension is being dealt with by the single post-migration technical committee, and government and the GMA will ensure commitment to the process. He signed this. He signed that both government and then the association will commit themselves to the process. The process is being handled by the technical committee set up by the Public Service Joint Standing Negotiating Committee, and they are members of this committee. And so when you are part of a process like that, when the process has clear timelines, and when the process has been engaging with you, it's not as if they haven't met the subcommittee. They have met the committee. They have presented all their issues to the committee. The committee has given them assurance that by 25th of this month, they will have a report on this issue for consideration and then further action. Then you say, no, you are going to engage in the most extreme of measures. So I think that clearly, if there's any display of bad faith, then it is the GMA leaders. Because this document they have signed, they cannot deny that they signed this document. They can also not deny that they had a meeting with the technical committee. They have met the technical committee. They also know the technical committee gave them its assurance, and this assurance is contained in a written report that they requested of that meeting, which is also available. They also appeared before the National Labour Commission. National Labour Commission also listened to government and listened to them. They demanded certain assurances from government, which assurances were all provided. So the National Labour Commission said, look, having received all these assurances which you have demanded, please go back to work, and government will also fulfill its part and we will monitor. In spite of all these, the leaders still declare that they want the withdrawal of emergency medical services. Why? Because you want to endanger the lives of Ghanaians, or exactly what is your motivation? Nevertheless, government is putting in place measures across the country to ensure that everybody has access to emergency medical care. We are directing the military and the police hospitals. We are also recalling all our doctors there who have gone on retirement, and also those who are on leave. And then also we are mobilizing every available human resource in the health sector that is available to assist to ensure that we do not have any situation where there is needless loss of life by anybody needing emergency medical care. The National Ambulance Service has been directed to stand ready in case of hospitals that don't have the capacity to provide certain levels of emergency medical care, to quickly evacuate them to the 37 military hospitals and then the police military hospitals and other private hospitals that have the capacity to provide them with those emergency medical cares and who have been accredited by the National Health Insurance Authority. And the Minister for Health is meeting with the heads of all the various health facilities so that they can continue to work on how to ensure that even in the situation of the withdrawal of emergency care by the doctors, that the facilities are still able to implement these measures that government is putting in place so that those needing emergency medical care can have access to the medical care.
Right. Mr. Eric, I want to thank you very much for your time this morning. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mahama Yariga, Minister of Information and Media Relations. But my producer, I draw my attention to see, I said, Dr. Edusipoku, HSA, and you know, Sabai no more, ISN Shabia, Nora Yariga, HSCiano. Yes, second Dr. Edusipoku, I will be saying, dear. But also, you know, Crystal Master's agreement, you know, until you could be saying, if we have. But we see, again, Jordan be at Nasia, I say me, never baby, a part night diaba, never baby part night diaba, to say, I quite mammy. emergency doctor for say nya eno kwa nya de omre edipa wuwu na ebeba ye be ne dan
masa no krepa ni ade hyase no yina aka say doctor for na sam no ede na yen hwe no yen kan so ne be ya ahoto beba no bia be nyante ase o ka da no yina betra ye ka say o hwe ni a embrahye bedwomfo agye hye o mataso ene wo mo abamu agye hye o mataso dia ene ka doctor for say ka yen ka no bre na obi anya bibi na obi ahunton na masa ne kure ni mom de afede em se fa kwa doctor for ko na no hye o ka ya da pen etwa mu me ba ha no ne honorable member of parliament bi ba yi na esi o yenkotu dwegu fom yesre o mu nkwaduma oman mu amanyoko nyinara CPP NPP obia ka so o mu ye no mu nkwaduma na o masam no yenhwe ne yenka afedi o mu de o mu se fa kwa ejina na ejina fa kwa ejina na ejina po de afedi o mu ka je kra gumu ma ne broso
ba so beka last week no o mu yes o mu bury draw emergency service na sa chop pay na ba no suspend here so beka am say no refi
na me kama sam wi why edikan ade a wo mu pe no enye se obia ka se yemfa ma ho lemu emra yi di betua ma ho no eno na chinya ba ho eso se ni o mu ka se o ye pese etua we ma yen na ban se ye ntua ma mo we dey say ya pin so betua ma mo na mom ebesi chemu kakra na etua ma mo we nti nkrofo nkowu meanwhile mo ko strike mo de ni ese edi ma mo no mo gishe motaso meanwhile mo strike mo ti aban dem ebinum kra ho aban car no mo drive oni ade onam chere enye fe afide ye ya mana broso em say doctor for no ya mana broso honestly doctor for no ya mana broso so here ye nyantie kra say National Labour Commission kra aye ruling say almost strike ni illegal as say di ebuo ema omanu constitutional institutions ni ade because ankobasa dia ene anarchy mu ni ye ewrai complete anarchy mani je ho mia na hyese no me kofo a omasam no so mia na hyese no me kota o machi na afi pempenso o mudu no masa ta o machi bi mu anyi afi asam no ya broso de bi asam o ye kan wo ha ne say yati hey ene ese o mampeni yare pe be hu doctor fu be tubiri ka kosa no yare in spite of the fact so more strike mo hiani ko yare na hasu benya yare sa nti ne amu ye ida no enye wo mu tua muka na so mu tua muka do mu ho kire wo ehia for innocent people ene be wukwa masa ase ni sai wo mo aye mana broso afi de ya broso kura too much masa I can no longer support this course of action.
Ni Entio
me that's it. Baby edu ide is already bem. Na yenya yeti hey. Anything at all can happen to us. Innocently, we are not part of this labor unrest. Two social partners and then yasam. A man is here, na ye which no, and I am actually. Na my colleague Mama Yarga Kasano, I'd wanted to describe the action of the Ghana Medical Association as breach of faith, because the Mudim signature I got to in Kata say more conversion one wine any more market premiums and some more jatum sa I'm a bibiako ye dear. And for me, it's a breach of faith. But I'm inclined to believe Nya Mama Yargadia Betuja Yana, wow Babon Tibeka say, GMB president say, one for Bambia entrance and kind. So the question is, Nya Yarga can no cry now say Yanakure. Nya will produce and catch the war, would it too, Joseph Yal. So when you buy entrance and science, Bibiano. So who is speaking the truth? I buy any Ghana Medical Association. And you must look for the secretary of the president to come out to regard to what Mama Yaga said. Because it's a serious matter. And I don't think that Yarega too will be joking. So see ampa, na see yachro, na see science here. Said there's a technical committee that is working on this post single spine in Sensemia. That's how see the signature twice. That's a rep or the president of GMB. Abekase Nicolas and Demwa. Then we're in a serious matter. So son Tedia, and we're in a serious problem. And the only was here concentrated for inform an inco, near whom the current send them. But the answer, yes, sir, doctor. Ebi ono busi evuni bi yare a ye frenu a obedu akosa ne yare anamba na mini wo on masem ne wom but two wrongs does not make right and yes way Aban should have taken this matter serious earlier because 2011 who back here emre na me nua madam for Freda Agbonyo no go your press conference Adom Dr. Adom for your president then what is some kaka chena de ade nyina. That was a time I was sensitive. Yes, one. We're in the second year of this matter. I came to Missian. And the best. Quembia was here first one. I said, the Abba, Anuya, the Yedika. I know I didn't make coding Chia. And when the Yedika. And the best. Again, we share a buying a Casa emergency arrangement on my say police hospitals, military hospitals. Apart from the ones in Accra, those are Accra. Are they that properly managed and to absorb that pressure? Because the police hospital were any 37, but in their various military barracks, they are not that equipped to deal with that emergency situations. Then again, almost say private clinics that have NHIS accredited, no, and also there are some private practice clinics and hospitals are. There are some of them who are there, whose monies have not been paid. NHIS again, your wages came in a chairman of who dress gay. And Jogo Yajumei, Scanner Dahon Wunyan Tremikai, means Uncle Peg Busianco Tonro, and Fabago, Namfansa Arifo, they use some go to Musica, Nabaya Chimamitri. Obeying. A typical example is these mission hospitals. Now the member Bani catch them and say, Daddy, some domestic hospitals are not taking national health insurance again. So I don't catch them. Because are buying and I'm catching the government is owing these mission hospitals. I mean, no jai, and your woman no jai. And your woman no, Madame Sherry de Gope, Ska one man, they go to you. Scan down the doors. And the best NHS can the air direct. Would you democracy? And also the Bayajuma. No face the young fire, dear May. But those who are still owing, you have not been paying them. And you're asking them to go and continue the service. So how are they going to recoup their monies? These things are avoidable. But the long and short of it, I say, yes, a doctor for once a woman by a ceremony. Suppose I would should depend him so because of near Abeya, Messer. But was he, Mr. Eya who attack him pisa. Eya president ending call 71 for your former cow. More than me tewa. Eya who attack here do. Who does it? Who attack here do? President Ojibi, the vice GB, Minister GB, Deputies GB, Afrajan GB, the deputies GB, NCC Chaba GB, the deputies GB. Eya former your for count. Eya now what trabi be there boy pisa as a go ye my. And the best I for Okakra. Na one para 92 brother who attempt to go in a gazette around the tree. Manisi.
Yatia Casana, Osinaso, Tia Kaina, Bakupuanco. Kawaka Tia Casa, a Brescia Biblium for
Article 71.
Exactly.
Okay, 71. Okay.
Better now, Betty. Won't that?
But that's a bizarre. Almost say a man for to Monugo. Oh, you know, I judiciary for me. You form your account.
Bibians, you part or her, and Pimpim Crab account of Bibians. What discussion what else what yet? Skies were Mudi. You fancy her. Because
you're a Niama, a bind here to 2 a. Yes, ambulance service in fact emergency cases for Mumra 37 police hospitals. Senior MPK. Where Accra police hospital any 37 eba kope. Na inti ambulances will be fi tamale. Obitimi abedru na no is it enough?
Oh, master. As you say, be any who are obitimi aya under these circumstances never adequate. These are emergency measures. The ideal situation is that Kibenya doctors need to ask for more kwadma. So doctors need for more kwadma, they will not attend to emergencies and so on. Master, emergency measure be a it cannot cure the problem. Indeed, whether it's enough or not, no, the master is neither here nor there. We have an emergency situation. Kakra ben ni bitimi aya ebeti ohawo so. And a master says, and Pensona, you could do them say, you can't say, Papa. See, a doctor for one say, so when you're quinchia. Now, when I'm back, we're trying, so back, we're trying. Young show. Doctor for one say, Ceciano, Wujna, Woni, and Quanquanta, or moon show. Emergency cases, some person you do. And yet, some way. And ye better because a wine and answer me there and answer wine and answer when you're there. Nipe bewu. Oh, no, channel. Now, Kaba, imagine, say, whether in Fatuna may say, Edmund Highway in IAT. Na Bibia Tubi. Oh, no, channel. No, unye doctor. Now, when you pass it as someone to Nipakuanya bewu. Usu multimedia for Makotiano. Mutia idea na electronica prepare kesa modi so ntimi nso mu ne mfale nkoda ye nkosa ne yare wokura wonye doctor no kura no. Can you imagine wonye doctor wo swear Hippocratic oath
Hippocratic oath
wo swear bi anasa no pa onam kwanso ba no akoto akwanhia na so mi business bi a me koye no sika bi a se minya no mi gina ha me misi business ntimi gina moa e mo pepra wa kwanhia no mu no ya hwe wo. Just imagine that situation. When you're doctor, who swear OTBA, ordinary citizens now who kwakwa business as kabebem. Now could do consult many sika free munti. I could share about me more. In civil life. Now with the doctor for power. Doctor for power. I will name the value of life. As I feel the woman some ya broso. Ya broso kra, ya broso masa. Ya broso.
Kabati say oba on an emergency in a private clinic. That's a year refer no call government hospital. Because it's assumed say government hospitals in honor, you know, gynae specialists be near the when they adding a walk. Na se bibia edui na se yenyanti asia. You see, in industrial relations, you always have to carry along the sympathy of the public in industrial actions. That is my background.
So
that's it.
Public sympathy no be winning.
Yeah, exactly. Now as a people begin to side with the medical doctors. But if we they'll begin to lose the confidence and the support of the general public. Because the same public you are killing them because who was kawanya maybe okoye lokum omo bi onfre lokum maybe ya ban strike ya wuye wunya o private clinic
or boy
ana obako djuma wo baby fufuro e dia koye sika no benye bi e dia hye okotoko ebi aka ya wutwe tize ne akwisi akan ke ya wutwe ko ebi aba na de ma wo odi ase na wutrem. It is the state that really supported you in your training abon huka ebi a wutwe bibi kaka de baban no ene ebo we na bibi wodui ene obeduo enye se enye hwema wo ye bi ye de ma wo ban mum anu ya na ye de bekasa enu ani de besim konwa ye beka ho asem enti mesre mpanyifuo no Say baby, I would do there. What's a mumara? But you should hear from the day when the council said they are embarking on this strike here, emergency withdrawals here, people are start dying. I can tell you. Who train statistics are people will be dying. Would they be happy? I'm not sure. Say Nibu say Nibi na say that no. But Dr. Every Doding essential service as somebody bano. You can you can reclaim the life back. Nti ebesere mo. Mesere pa. Ubi ava na nuntumbi ni enu monkasa. And government should expedite action in this their matter and say my yekai. Na yemfa yemfa to ye. Because we need human life for our productivity to move our country on.
Mazani, maybe I need na kasasi doctors no assemble. In general, no doctors no assemble. But some of their demands are clearly unreasonable. We share salary relativities na de omo na. Nurse ni penny pa the topmost year of the nurse no. Omo hye sene be ya na kutua no. Any doctor ni a wo ba foforo ebeepe.
New accredited fresh from medical
school ebeepe. Doctor for nso omo tikwa payo omo mpeni. Nti omo wide the gap between them and the nurses. The nurses no say mo yema doctors ayesu yenko. Na say nurses na nkwa doctor for be dan yaduma. Enti eni omo demands ni na reasonable. I mean, the nurse be a wire 35 years. Na so ni fresh doctor no dia kutua ba kwa. What is wrong with that? A dem pa nenye wo ho a. Say nurse wire 35 years. Na doctor no fresh pa o. Afa kura no bed no mo no dia kutua ba kwa. What is the problem? Enti masa, ne kan titi an say masa. Empempenso yedu ehu pa. Yanhweni ya nipa behwere wo mu nkwa yanhweni ya wo mu doctor for na nkasa kura no wo mu nuanu mo mabusuafo wo mu nanom ni wo mu senum bi behwere wo mu nkwa ona mejalo wa ye ya la doctor ni bi kura ba behwere ni nkwa isan side nti na ene minuanu akasa ma mani age minua tatos grovo akasa mani age pa ayesa no emra da keso odi kwaduma say the pay ni di oji still a omuji omo strike na omuji pay na mra keso di kwaduma na ni pay no na pay so ni aye betua back pay say wo man kwaduma no kre be sisi ni na na de ma wo na ka ba ni bibi anopai we dey ko private clinics na ko he
no mu bo adwuma
doctor for bebre ko private clinic bo adwuma nti obaji ni pay aji back pay na ka ho asan aji locum de so aka ho esisi sembe no esisi sembe no
na sabna akwai te se dia batabo ni twa na etwa na producers guswa ye ho adwuma se yen sabeka a doctor for impeni for
it is your duty to come and react
bisa o mo
still agreement ya almost
no ho asem no
in your interest
because me producers online na e busy
mama yarga eno dia betu dia say almost an agreement so almost agreement ni bi o
omo pe bi mi e
that's all we just say one head
wa eti yeguso ya ye twen say sabeka o mo na agreement ni aso ye nsa ka bia ye dia tujama emu sam no Ghana fo ina timi atibia ka be sima edu ensia na ye no nwotwe abo ra Daniel ni kwata titles global na fi rekosi prat ne no mo da so wo fia ye dwendwen sama akoso nra so putak for crowd so athletes so make strike so over the weekend and so pharmacists for so ko wini case or labor commission and so fair wages for say no so wo munyintum was it sa posturing nyema bi e kokoso no and I am ebinum because pharmacists for the say almost mako wini a fair wages for say no almost so omo so they are going to appeal and but potak the no crown if you Ashanti region Kumasi for and almost say can ko almost so omo beti atua
masa yenya se yem fabra kwanso emra no si so ko National Labor Commission na ko dibima the other party
Bacho Ghana Medical Association for number Dr. Edisupoku anopa me moachi o Hello, Doc.
Hello, no Premio. No one touch the play.
Yo, Mpacho, yo, Dominic Mpacho. Number where the Mpacho, Jinasona, farmer me producer, no one, the top one here, where man, why I'm Sarah. Dominic Kinti, Manina Sunaje, 020 line on now, 80 me friend, because Mpacho now, Casa.
I can say, Jatum say, a famra and a Nedma. And Brandon said, a year a fair wages for no court labor commission, and our bank labor commission. That's what did here at my phone or right of appeal. So as soon as my phone local labor commission did here by and as a fair wages for almost what a friend is saying, right of appeal. The right of appeal, the stay of execution, I don't believe be anyone. Ne kwanso ano no san yi na agya tum se mfa nya adwuma boni be ne wo
This is ending.
emra na ebi adwuma mfa mra nya adwuma
Asamo
sha se no ebra wo koye meeting Flagstaff House ya na ebetra ha ka se abba na veni obi apopo no kakra do mampani dibrika no
Wasi ma me hwe se Dr. Adusupoku ahoma na totoma Dr. Adusupoku anopay Ghana form watching
Binya, that's my mom.
Ohun ye de mate se wa bedu nkran
Love you.
Mumae
Love you.
to da so okuma se
Aye.
Yeah.
Now, all weekend, the energy. I'm feeling I'm some bad with my.
Ayo na ye misai e de na akoba mase se mu se emergency mu nhwe biemu de important
Oh, me now said the and some you know, and a coy. Na me no back market premium. Allowance. And I buy a TS extra class commitment. And then sign a trade there. The record of emergencies, no. The man buying now, it was a now Ghana and phone from the country next year. The man buying now, now what can say conversion difference any pensions nothing. Now conversion is no any allowance so a part of your basic salary. You know, any tier, the second tier pension. You know, I'm also a tier, the main pensions. You know, after the pensioner, when you feel, and as I can also be by bottom direct. Any no can ya, and yet you man, who can't marry stop committees and the Jumana. I may be different than so.
Say Minister of Information Ramahama Yarga Chichin Koma ni statement or the abeto abonteni kire se eya wo Dr. Adusupoku wo don sa hye krata bia se a eye eprovusumi ne da toso me pedate na gazem se edumienu ya wo don sa hye ase se enhyehyeye amone eye adwumaku a wato didin Public Services Joint Standing Negotiating Committee ya wo de won sa hye ase se enhyehyeye no what ya se wagye atum enti aban say they are disappointed in Saudi awuye na wudi uko na nim na moye Saudi ne di kan o de nsa akwahye hyehyeye bi asesa
No kre na ntimuno ne say ya ka say MOU a memorandum of understanding yenti you mo ka say ya sanwi no the agreement no me ne say ta MOU no ye na edi animo no ye je ne da akoma the National Executive Council. Non-National Executive Council, no. Instructions on your mind, and no, and never have a country home. Over Kadiuma, the buy, no, council can say, MOU, ya sign, a buying so. It's a man show further commitment. That commitment is in the say, also a letter, instructions from finance, and command, control Canada General Department. Say, yes. The room right now, Munchia, let an abba. Yenintina, a time 1 week, say 1 week, no. Yamfa enka conversion difference, any pension nothing. On the from Monday, na Yanshia, to see Friday this year, 19th year, fear the travel year. Your kind on Tiatia Yajuma. Intino, I'm say, Minister for Information. When information need, should be no sign, crack eye, friend. Memorandum of understanding now. You must say, what misunderstanding and about in here, I didn't say. memorandum of understanding just say ntiase bi yɛ adwuma nti na ba ntiase ayɛ adwuma saa subcommittee na mo kan no the National Labour Commission no can say yɛnkɔ physical subcommittee bi sɛ ɛsa distract your attention abi so mmara na hyehyɛ no a ɛyɛ labor laws no yɛno ɛbɛbu so there's a timelines ɛde da ho ɛne yɛsɛ nyɛ hwee mo aka yɛbɛkɔ yɛkɔɔyɛ a physical committee no subcommittee no sɛ ɔmo deɛ convention difference na yɛka no sense of reference ɛde ma ɔmo no convention difference nka ho nti ɔmo yɛ nka convention difference asɛm the next time ɔmo de kɔma physical committee no convention difference asɛm ni 2 paragraphs convention difference asɛm ni mu ɛna ɛsɛ wɔbɛda sɔfo pensions no mmerɛ a wɔnka convention difference n'asɛm ɛna yɛne minister sisi akɔhyia Friday the Friday no ɛna ɔmo sɛ na ɔmo kɔ consult so at the seat of governance and na presidency ɛna ɔmo ɛma adi mu enti no ɛfam baabi yes ɛfam baabi no no kyerɛ sɛ nneɛma bi asi mmerɛ a yɛsan saa paper no yes yɛsan but nneɛma na sɛ yɛsan paper no sɛ ɛma kan yɛ further discussions no na nkɔ yie nti yɛ fall out of saa MOU no a yɛsan yɛ no yɛn na kɔfa wɔ yaba adɛn na committee no sɛ subcommittee no dɔkɔ akɔma committee no on 25th of April adana committee no ɛhwɛ a ɔma san apɛ mmerɛ na ɔmo da kɔma public services joint standing committee ansa na baban hɔ meka sɛ na mfie mmiɛnsa fara ba mmerɛ a labor laws no kyerɛ sɛ sɛ mo se nokorɛ yɛ essential service bi a sɛ yɛ asɛm ba a nansa complain ba ɔsɛ mohwɛ mu montumi a 14 days na ɔtwe mmienu ɔsɛ yɛ settled by compulsory arbitration yɛne nyinaa akyi no adɛn na ɛna afiri hɔ na asa akɔ another subcommittee a subcommittee no sɛ yɛmmie no hwɛ de baeɛ no deɛ ɛnyɛ dɔm bɛka ho asɛ
Dr. Siriboku, press statement Mr. Ayargade abeto abonten no. Mame nkan ha no na kyerɛ asie because ho no minyanti asie papa. Aha no was say subsequently the Single Spine Post Migration Committee, a subcommittee of the Public Services Joint Standing Committee or Negotiation Committee, met the leadership of the GMA on the 12th of April, and a deadline of 25th April 2013 was communicated to the GMA for the completion of the work of the subcommittee on the Public Services Joint Standing Negotiation Committee on Single Spine Post-Migration Technical Committee. After all these efforts to address the concern of GMA, government disappointed. I say, aka deadline no say conversion se mamu kan no 25th ni du na sa ban ye ho hwe a na aka mu betimi aye ho bibi na na 25th ni nue na 22nd na afi de muso mo arredo emergency services.
I mean, I guess I'm a 70 year old. There are 70 years say, maybe can start so committee na yes, I want to. What's in terms of reference, the Diamano? Yeah, you know, the encounter conversion difference no encounter. I'm at 25th, no, monotono. 25th, no, you don't know the report, no, echo, you know. Some know the you know, or pass one control. Or say that the final report will be discussed by the technical committee on 25th April 2013. Number 3, that the final report from that subcommittee on pensions will be submitted to the Public Services Joint Standing Committee. 4, that the outcome of the meeting of Public Services Joint Standing Negotiating Committee will be communicated to the GMA as soon as possible. That occurs at the time. One man got over 25th. So committee no at the comma another technical committee. As an technical committee no the comma joint standing committee na omni power to pay us no. And some other committee no at the comma government. That's how the report is. Copy kutabi. Final report is here. One man got over 25th. 25th no must submit a report to the technical committee. Now report on submit no. Yeah, some party here conversion difference no. Almost say in the encounter, my community heading no say meeting between pension subcommittee to meeting between pension subcommittee or the public services Joint Standing Negotiating Committee and the Government Medical Association held at the conference room of the Ministry of Finance on 12 April 2013. Over time, I said that some committee on pension of the Technical SSS Post-Migrating Implementation Committee on the 12th April met with the leadership of GMA. Time 70, the convention difference in the let's know, Oman can't want them cry. I'm say, Oman mandate, say, Woman can't pension at them. Oman can't convention difference at them. That's it.
Yeah, can say Rama Hama say Cat 26. One best submit to report. Now, the way forward. Munya will tell my 26 in the crime.
Minia, committee, no, they won't say MYA. Which I would say. Now, you know, and no mature letter, a buy, say, or market committee to be chaired by His Excellency the Vice President, 8th February. Which would I a committee, no, a meeting up to today, the channel. So, committee, no, meeting now, I could look court. Yes, I refer ever some subcommittee. I did have ministers, 3, anything general secretary, any chairman of Wages and Service Commission, actual, almost so many here. Yes, I refer some subcommittee. Who the diversionary tactics? I did committees in the past. Why a crime be asked.
Dr. Nisboku say, Mimpeni for me on the Komokra of Fiache say, Obia Mosha Mostraki, as Ubia time wachi, Ubia Jitum say, Monsama Mokano, and Pa, more Honkansa Mubisa, na Musika see the Mamo. As the public sympathy amono, it is gradually eroding. Yeah, to say, are you eroding crowd? Because it prat crowd here, or just say, na who are the data much in say, any obium. Mo ni says our public sympathy in Muluswa. Let's say, Madia Muye, and one Coban Faso, Nipa, who are neighbor, Faso be a maso.
Kachina, you say, yes, Reno, ma omre, na seven say, Tanyamano, ya called cycle, no say, graphic, last week, or chronology of events from 2003, the same issues, no, Ashibia Eba. The only time I respite Accra, 2006 and 2008. Health service respite I don't buy the past 2 years salary fee. You know, every year be a similar back. What's your buy? They don't can no 90 at a month. Na every 20 year, a chayaswa. Into Mombre, minimum, or seeing Radiano, a can be not buying a they also. Na ya di na di akwese obopa na otu nje bakroka nba cross sa de tie dia mi ko dobi enti mu bre ya enyi enti extra mo say money abanka ye nya ne fa ne bi du sei omo de di abre enti no abanka so omo e fiscal cash ni botomu on through a letter of commitment then controller emre no so a krata ene ye letter of commitment to control accountant general say omo accept liability and they will pay according to an agreed schedule. And when I'm come back here at TRT, then at TRT, I mean, second one, they want to win. Now got the two foot to good grammar for you. Cat I have a kite away. And need the minister for information. Kai. What's the difference?
Dr. Nisboku, final question. Mekai statement or I regard Abetu Jana. Watch us some more Labour Commission, or one of the 2 Jama. Madia tum say Bosumi and 9 Mubetua, Yebeka Boom Nanka, may end the near Tia, the following and 9 near account boom near Tia. Muanka Samundi Musasha, as say, San Casicano, Inquisisa, September, say October, near Tia says Kane area. Say, I buy so say, Bosumi Biasu ye Tia Moka. Now Mutifia Namusumunya, Jumana Busumi, who are Moka Market. Say, Yan and Dangana for your Mudia.
Mini anya no credit fee. You can say OPD outpatient will be an area and you can see my answer. Near to share emergencies, the very impatient. You patient, me na also be I know, not oh yeah. We also can say impatient. A very almost. Your name to say, it's your salary. Next time, we so over 1 year, 4 months. No, sir, we the Sana Ghana for air time. So between Bopa, ɔsɛ me de bi ntua ɔkae sɛ meyɛ aban more than 1 year owie a ɔntua interest ebiara wɔ so na ɔfa ne ho adi saa na yɛka anaa saa na yɛka deɛ a sɛnea ne ebi a mmerɛ bi ɔmu no ɔsɔ doctors nyinaa so ɔmo hwɛ ne firi no ekɔ yi ɔmo fɔ ɔmo ho adwene sɛ ɔman no ɛmmoa enti no adeɛ a wobɛyɛ a ɔmo bɛtɔ wo sɛ ɔdwuma aforo bi na sɛ ɔkɔyɛ o sɛ biribi na ɔsɛ ɔkɔyɛ o na ade supplement wakatua a yɛn no so ebi a doctors ebi hɔ a individuals ɔmo adwene ho.
Yo, Dr. Nisuboko anope ebedo ase na ehu hia sɛ ebeba nkyɛn bie mu a kwasi price wo beso wo ka asɛm ma wo tienti Mr. Ogina so
opadi we de yesre wo ɛnanan no a yɛsɛ mu ntwɛn no mo twɛn da nan a ɛdeɛ nkura sonku ne besi asɛ mo twɛn da ndɛ anan 4 days
mini enye nan yo letara mo kai no anse bi a ndi asia mayi omote nan no ansa na sub technical committee no edi omo report no e koma technical committee ansa na technical committee no apemre no da koma public services joint negotiating committee no
anu 26 anu 26
so edi akoma aban enti adenya 25 and omo de omo report no omo de beko sa technical committee no isa committee omo kan technical sub committee now the main issue they say yeah someone the call conversion difference no you know clear the almost sense of reference no and can no can answer yeah call I was there Mikobi almost the conversion difference now yeah part of your basic salary no almost can answer if you say mandate the more no you know can
Doctor say nipa be wo nti mo ya ne dey
se dape mienu kra wo twe dape mienu ade ne beba
Doctor Isipoku
ye fa se dape mienu
se nipa be wo ye mo ya ne dey
you have said of the list of private hospitals any child institutions any ambulances any 37 police hospitals that's all problem until you hope say Massa.
Hope ni se nipa bia engu.
So government the contingency measures at you know, and that's the duty of government. So the contingency measures that too. The majority of some measures on there too no. At least that's all problem okay say everybody.
Na nipa wu e.
Oh, the na mrebi ebisa e no say what statistics more? Yeah, na political is difficult. They say we better say if they are strike run out direct effect on the The Nintina Ghana Mrano. As you say, the essential service. O ma to say Shembra. The first 3 days and 14 days. In the say I want say from 2011, how many 14 days in the womb? Because Mrana about Ghana, now who buy no. The employees are government no. Omuni so. Then I didn't transfer away. Now, why was it 3 days, 14 days? What issue come a sub technical committee? I'm not also what you are. Now committee no. Go to class of committee na. You know, 1 month ago. Next say Mrana, what the year man answer on Fanyajuma. Intelligence transfer be about. The unit those in the helm of affairs. Omo boy party and no any central government. Omo na mana ababe dusa. It's a Mrana the Juma mo pa ri chiaka. Any liberal laws no. No mo fa Juma. 77 liberal laws no. Bible na here divine interpretation no. Written in simple English. No prana. Man ko stu papa prana. It pa ya meti afie. Enti ya de no ka tra bi ni Mrana so. Na obi a mo beto no.
Na me say we final question but ora mahama ya ga twe madwin gina asem bi stress say sanhye o maye nyina ya mo se mu ni so no oh too bad bad faith na kambisa no so say mo motive pa ni say motive pa ni emisa say sa motive no pa eno ni asem ora mahama ya because ni abansa so e bia opani so ay ni now say why ne anye bibi enti na ya bedru
Kwajo pa say Dr. Dusu Poku abayi nano because initially no be na me gina no na me yeji mama yarigedi say yedi yen signature akoto MOU ase say yen hwe nyama we ni enkoso and that is part of industrial relation practice but the spirit behind nyama the actions backing signatures are yenoso eno so yapa and the hano I'm holding the government responsible. Who gave the technical committee the terms of reference? Say, in semna yedi eba si yembakari yimfemfrim. Because that is the bane of this unrest. That is the foundation of this unrest. That's a refer a technical committee. These are people who have a know-how, the insight, and everything. And for all you know, it's some people from both sides. So you have trans yen senses so ni ehwe niam a ekoso wasem we mu. Ye di asem ko ma kwesi se kwesi ko hwemu a na nipa na odi reference ma kwesi sazem we ma mu kan wansem. Are you not aggravating the situation? And I'm disappointed in Ayarga. I'm highly disappointed in him as a government spokesperson. Because I was saying, you must be following all these things. Now you're accusing the GMA of bad faith. Somebody will signature to us, Semasia. Moon train, and a yet. And then you know, I got that one. Said Yendia, you got Casa 70 a year free. So why are you accusing the GMA for being bad faith? As a government spokesperson, your ears should be everywhere like national security. You must be asking questions. I was so be sensible because at the end of the day, we are training who they are quickly. Who and was so young. Now, the who accuse GMA for the back faith. What have you done? I'm disappointed in him. Ayariga, I'm disappointed in him. And then the part of we are minister. And you be a near doctor be who fed telephone or call back or so we know a yarba. Namie, and I hear ye by your sre, doctor. Masem no wom. To send a go see a kay. Mutuan few days a kay in the diaba. But he gave a very good response. Also since 2011. And now Dr. Adom Winfo, where he was there, his predecessor. As some we are yeka. We are yeka. I bet you a pempesui. And then in your children, Nippon Pandia, Yamfanya Chacha. Yebesser, Yensadi, and some, yes, sir. But they should expedite action to resolve this matter. It is an essential service. So it needs an essential action to make sure we resolve this matter.
Because you are somewhere now.
Master, we are saying,
Confirm Kratomrana.
Minia titles. Here, Doctor Yasamokai, Miniwa Yeti. You need to be a bit young woman who said, no, can no create to do and I said, no, Neighbor. So soon I yarga sunya bufra.
Ah,
I yarga nya bufra, and a doctor is sunya bufra. On them, son. Na media. Pamlo Chano, Quanchen Sodo. Master American say. Sayarga some ne do.
If you are making
the doctor, yes, some ne do.
Naco health.
Send your Tibiano. A man for baby. And only someone here. Not here and someone Ura Yaragaka. And then someone Dr. Peninsuka. Ni now him. That can be a tremble in this Sabia. There would have been no problem. 6 days wait. 6 days I
because there will be problem because the terms of reference they go to see when count.
But some within 6 days.
What are you going to say?
No matter what you said, 6 days. You're trying 6 days, sir. Can you like a baby? You must have something to be a master. When you're not some year there, you're not some year there. Master, imagine, say, Yeti, oh, we hear any no quack when you're complication.
I say no operation.
Now, I say, maybe a cesarean operation. A doctor for say, Etikwa Paya was strike. And I say, imagine so, Mamma Brewa. Or work crossing when hospital Bakupene or private clinic here, it be me ho. Your monkey ambulance near be me ho. Na Uma Mia Brewa. What could do Pennsylvania and Sonny Muntamo be? Imagine. Oh, when no let's see a dream. And I say, imagine, say, what could do man opa? Who are who near Bam, who are liberally keke, and I would deep pass any bear, and Sabako no. Nefi dear Kuchaunsa. Na moja. Na ye nim se sa moja ye nsia no abewu. Na doctor for say tukwa pa sika semunti ye nya dwuma. Imagine, when you say a dream ho. Bi say na da bia ye ka de hai. Empenifo ndi omo yare ya obenya yare sa. Ejiafo na eba bebre. That's the point.
Asem no ahomete nanso so senior empenifo aka no. Asem bi e ba ye de ano ya na ye ka. E because so ato asere.
As I speak to you now, my mother is on admission. In one of the private hospitals.
So I won't say something impatient. You won't because why?
What does it? So in case it mean cancer.
So
that's it. No.
Government hospital go to
so when it becomes serious, it will end up at the government hospital. Yes, Romo.
Well, for Jinga Tosi man, Yemrani, for happy birthday and Vama Aaron Osafo Kuka or First Step International School Nungwa, Umame, Doris Osafo, ya or Multimedia Corporate Office Front Desk, and I'll say happy birthday, Enfama. Yan Kratona, Yemra, Eba, and some waka, Beko Cottons and Semu, and then Yaka et media to us. Yabasisia. Abuja ya twaso semedunu na abo apa ho no otwemu na ye text messages ni emails ankofo de aba na yintiminti anu fi na afi yenko court mu nsensem Jones Siedo o say kaba they should go on strike so that they can work in their private hospitals. You can do this. You can't do this in America. In America, if you did not go to work, your employer will not pay you. And Jones in the fee America which the brain. Kofi Dimo shall say, Mr. Pratt, stop blaming the doctors and advise government to channel the money from them confirmed to solve the doctors' problem. Okay. Good morning, Kaba. We, the diasporans, would like to know if Multi-TV Online has gone dun so way. Also, we are only watching pictures, audio no ma. Okay, Multi-TV, technicians, yes, Remo. Ose Kaba, the issue about conversion difference and reduced pension is a separate issue from market premium arrears. So Mr. Pratt should revise his note. Government has only decided to tackle the MP's arrears. Doctors had 3 major issues, but government only picked the issue of MP's arrears to solve. How do I come with my concerns, which are genuine, and you pick one to solve and throw away the others? Politicians are hiding behind the nature of our job and a hypocritical oath to shortchange doctors. Ghanaians should know that politicians swear oath of office as well, yet they are the worst offenders. Abdul Hamid Majid, I want to believe he's also a doctor. Kaba, the doctors should do whatever they do to get their money. Government should pay them their money. And they should also not forget about Nat and Nagrat, EBC, Raymond Adoma, Edifibrikum, or the brain. Kaba, I think government just want 1 month to elapse over the doctor strike so that they can apply Kufuor strategy with the Nagrat in 2007. That's why they are using this feet dragging strategy. But tell them it won't work. It is only the masses that will suffer. Matthew Bidiakuna the brain. Schiffman or Saya Tunsu. Kumasi says it's very sad that the NDC government has not been able to solve the demands of the striking doctors up until now. The doctors have finally withdrawn emergency services. If an elected government is not capable of solving labor problems, then what is needed for this government to remain in office? We must value human lives and stop threatening the doctors with court actions. The common man deserves a better health care. One from Abu say, God is watching the doctors. Yo. One from Abu Mensa. If the only certificated petitioner, the Tabomi has started wobbling, then what will happen to the certificate? Kaba, with the striking doctors withdrawing their emergency services, what about those admitted in hospitals already? The doctor force on behavior inpatients on behavior till everybody is discharged or until say a service has no. When two elephants fight, it is the tree that suffers. It's the ordinary Ghanaian who end up suffering from this strike action by doctors. Government should pay them now. One from Agege Police Mampo Ashanti and on the Ibrahim. Kaba, good morning and greetings to you and your panelists. Please tell your technicians to fix your online and a viewer from Belgium and on the Ibrahim. And we free or say, okay. All right. Actually, because you go court to Moon Semana. Dr. Baumia, day 4, about Kujina Dakam, and my other sway, Bisan and Samura. Now, to that, just say, and a bear baptism on fire. Wombe Soja Guna Pampa Mupa. Court and Semniako so far. Mr. Matissa, now no kind of pieces, Chief Justice, Niente or Mahokama, my TV call. I said, ni 2 minutes, Bruce Supreme Court, so any idea. I'm funny in a moment now.
No, and they say, you can read.
There be a own kind. Me chase what can
and you have someone.
My hair for person what is early as some oka.
Now, me can say, a distributor, a petitioners no the court to court in him. And a court no can say, yeah, my home crime. Now, court in your car will open court zone, my home crime. I bear court decisions. I say, court not doing, and no.
Now, I have one sentence.
Well, life will be sanity. Life will be sanity. On them channel. And say court decision there. And the not Chief Justice no only to me be across or done court decision. Because administrative decisions are inferior to court decisions. They are far inferior to court decisions. And no Chief Justice no more no. Or the Supreme Court has it. Or no Chief Justice there. Now Supreme Court no decisions no. She cannot vary it. Or the Supreme Court now say. They are not America. Now and then the as a near call heavyweight boxing contest. Which we encourage criteria be febia Tony Lita cut down. It be when Nini Nara. NDC lawyers angry with Atububa near Kikahone, the Bibri Ufa, and Bibri Sana Akobano, Asania, George Foreman, Ni Muhammad Ali, Equaco Kuntuka, just Sana Sebano. As some will say, Beso Jagu be a Pampamunia di here. I'm saying Ghana for you, Nara. So we MPP for, so we NDC for, so we CPP for, so Omundoma Manu Kubiano. Ade na penny no kura no ebedadi ye na ade ye penny intentrani a ebeya dwuma eno ene ye pe nti yenso jangu na pampam na no ate onu na wo certificate osimesi na any certificate na ade na no masa eni hwe babia emfaso bia ni so ye yinara ye nye ye nioma se na ebeya na ye Supreme Court ho a the Bayer Nioma, a famra quanso. Nasa Nioma, a Bayer, Efa, Emra quanso, a dino crana bededi, Naman Tentrin, so I on himself. Yenianum, and another Dankwa Kufado, Jacobete Bilante, and Mahmoud Baumia. And Omodia some cocoa is a buyer a 2 year. A CC a CC MPP, a CC Nanado. Nanka, a CC year. Kebia Cananado Nanka Ubedin Kunim. As some of a Supreme Court no. And send you and a Supreme Court no. Send me be a buyer 2 year. Ye knew maybe a Tiam Rana. And a Tusumi, and no my ye Tiam Rano.
Beat me as a son.
A bit me as a son the results of the elections. These are the 2 issues. Ye never trek a crack. Then they are quarter. A dear punch. A honor. Na NDC for ba say oh court here ko ye ni din kunim e hono na MPP for ba ye ni din kunim eni hwe asemu afa ni ya start asemu wa nye yi a witness be bebru be 4000 so far witness baako pɛ na kɔgyina box mu na yɛnunu yɛ ho ne yɛsere wonunu ho sere a masa wo na aha ho ɔnam kyerɛ no nti yɛntwɛn na Supreme Court nka n'asɛm ɛnnɛ deɛ no amanfo bebree ɛhwɛ sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ exciting wohwɛ baabi a ne super baako koraa sɛ to be very exciting and so on ɛnna mi yɛhwɛ sɛ nipa bebree bɛhwɛ bi ti yɛnkɔhwɛ bi ne yɛntie bi na yɛmfa ntu yɛn ho fo yɛn nyinaa yɛsua deɛ masa deɛ ɛkɔ so nyinaa yɛsua deɛ wɔ mu yɛankɔ law school da ɛnna wotu fie a wohwɛ television a mmara no ho fa kwan nam ɔho na ɛkyerɛ no nti yɛn nyinaa yɛsua deɛ wɔ mu ɛnyɛ bɔne ebinom aka sɛ TV coverage no so ɛsɛ nnwuma ɛno so yɛ nokorɛ ɛsɛ nnwuma paa
ade papa biara na bɔnwoma bata ho ɛte sɛ berɛboɔ
na ade papa bi wɔ hɔ a bɔnwoma no bogu so a na asɛe koraa wei no ebinom adwene koraa sɛ bɔnwoma no abɔ apete afa ho
ɛna ɛsɛ nka ayɛ nwom
na masa ne ɛkɔ so wakɔ ministries akɔhwɛ pɛ
ɔmo hwɛ TV
offices bia Miami office ɛnneɛma a yɛayɛ gu hɔ a yɛsɛ yɛbɔ ntam na yɛ ho adwuma ne ade
ɔmo hwɛ TV
woyɛ deɛ nso na akɔka
sɛ wo so hwɛ bi eduwe na ka jo
media madwuma
media
madwuma no ɔhɔn nkyɛn
ngala ndie ntimi hwɛ
enti ni na aka ho afi ɛka bi so ade ba no so me so sɛ no so watete
GBC for no mo kasa say coverage omo ye because omo commercials ni ade nyina omo suspend it enti clients so complaining kan ben so no be for betua
ebi ma ka cross one hwe ye na judgment debt bi kra ekoba
ade
sɛ woni client aye
agreement agreement
what you ska what this can
esa obo na yi ma no
esa obo so na akọ Supreme Court
contract
na no na bi no ka se ka TV screen no yenchemu be miansa
ne fa advert no
ne fa advert no fa nchen ne ni Supreme Court dey so won nchen but anu no so no
enya a contract ani nipa ne sign no be man full screen
apart from that no kra no it raises issues about Supreme Court a certain level of decorum. There's a court equals na advert bi a ya yehu asabi a ya saw advert mu and in same bi a ya keka no advert mu and in Supreme Court dey equal side by side. And how does it touch on the dignity of the court and so on? It is bebre na masa ya ni akofaba dia yentro ho.
Because the answer now we no over the weekend letter that Justice Tuguba Echiro Koma Uraton Lita say on verify and on your friend say on your sakai okwaya obisa ni nsem mo ba mo sa asem no eche wo saying
oh me ne court ni nyadwen na ma menchiro ni ntia me ne won nyadwen masa imagine say Uraton Lita eje ni court no kan no tum so wajatu wode be aduma and wakɔ court ɛna wasese ne nneɛma no ɛna ɔsi 2,000 polling stations ɛyɛ duplicated 2,000 polling stations ɛyɛ duplicated na ba ɔno ne calculation no MPP for claim say more than 4 million votes no ɛsɛ yi free hɔ no ɛnyɛ nokorɛ maybe 20 votes pɛ ɛna ɛsɛ yi free hɔ. No, the ama Badwam or witness box will say, Master, confirm or deny. Now Badwam deny, what would we do? We will go back to the pink sheets one by one. And I'm a boy. This or the ma ura Badwam or witness box will not so the two musania tonlita canon, no crack. So Nyako Gasset near tonlita canon, no crack. We will go back to the pink sheets one by one. A Janukra best side Mirakra chain, senior. Or starting cross-examination. Indeed, that is one of the fundamental problems with the directive of the court. Nyetosu mienu. Who dear someone, I say, unya the rules of the game before. Because that would inform strategy, it would inform all kinds of things. Now, when you go to the assembly in the middle, and the rules, I don't think that is fair to both parties. Wait on later and I do so. Obinim addis so by cross examination also near better. It is not fair to both parties. The rules should be made ahead of the hearing, not in the course of the hearing. And I think it's a matter that both parties should take up. If they are not looking at temporary advantages, both parties should be raising issues with making the rules as we go along.
Very well. Ni, court issues matters arising.
Come and say, let's say free TV coverage. For me, it is serving two purposes: the mischief and the level of propaganda. And this is for a young man. For me, even if you are not a legal mind like myself, I know be a sapliga or Garrett Pani, and Mayuru, or Navrongo Central. Now we share GTV. Alex, you can follow what is going on. And do you want any technical explanation of the legal in the bedroom? We are some when you call a bontinia. Send you both sides of the political divider on what addressing media. What happened in court sometimes is not the way. Let me give you an example. Okay, a Brenner court order say the petitioners have 5 days to bring their responses, in the form of affidavit. Some of them are 5 days. And as a respondents, they also have 5 days to respond. Petitioners, echo according to the rules of the court. And the deadline was on Sunday, and I want to file here. When you file here, you want to court Monday, you can't na NDC for any reason Muzankai. You pay, you saw what lawyer Anato does here.
Ready.
When you are supposed to respond, you will respond here as a lawyer. Is that the way you speak? He was speaking like I said, so I say, Unsaka, they will respond. Now, Unsaka, then how do you expect me to come and start open my defense? Now, which propaganda na mudugu upon things? This is going to cure all those mischief and propaganda. And for me, I'm very happy. As to Kwanya public, aban Ejuma Ejuma Diatua 1 year. It is left to the administration to deal with the matter. They can instruct that nobody should watch the television. The sectional heads and the heads of department and the director should give a fiat. Say, Obia Wabe Juma Bian so TV Bia. TV,
radio.
They can give a fiat.
Because they can give an order. So far alive.
They can give an order.
No, the earphones are sharing as
Massa, you can discipline the employee.
A public interest case.
Please, it's a public interest case. So who fear, who care more. But won't you be Juma now? Who see? You see production hours, productive man hours. Eddie show on TV. So
HR manager.
Which I said, you can do that. So this is purely an HR arrangement, administrative procedure. You better be there. Then you stop these things. So you cure. If I say now, and this is one TV, and then you Juma. I talk to you about adverts. They can program it. This is a program we. You run for a couple of minutes. Maybe I was advert, but you break. You do your advert. I was here. So when you had GTV, I was say almost say adverts. They can do it.
Almost start here from 10. Almost come 12. No more break.
Open.
No more number 2.
GTV ne year there.
Time no
GTV. TV3. And I'm
Yes, ye.
Very well. So you program yourself. Baby adverts in one way. You are no wabble. You come back.
What do you mean money?
I don't want to be money. You're my boy. It's not compulsory that you should show everything.
Hey. As a man,
you also have to, because you've gone into agreement with clients. I was all body more. I guess you lose the cartel. And to you was all born. You come back and continue. And the whole year, Mesre. Say commissioner of judgment debts. Naji.
Ole, there's only one television station which is authorized. Exactly. GTV for contractual obligations different from
other
all
media
the
houses.
others. And so be a choose time on body advert in idea. There will be total confusion. It will not even be possible to make sense out of the proceedings.
Because are we saying that we can't sit down and organize something around this? Are we saying we can't organize something around this? But in any case, judgment debts, commissioner, say in life. And I in life.
In life.
Now, money by the womb. On the 3 life.
Oh, need to be a when years from.
What I say?
Masanim.
I have public accounts.
This one will last several months or maybe even a couple of years.
So this is a landmark case.
Are we likely to go through that? Yeah. A year.
Landmark case. And the Obia who quite including US and then say, you better the air cost. And then they have TV into Obeni. Make it a heritage. Baumia faces fire today. Daily Post and this is BBC. Hell awaits Bawu today. Aston Litok gets set to expose him. Chajugeta awaits in the wings. MPP legal team apprehensive. You know, Baumia is well composed. He's really organized in his mind. Prepared to deal with every question. Bia Tony Litok. Eddie Baba Tune him. Any end this linear. What about Nidini Litok? Yeah, you didn't Litok. And you're Litok. You know it. I didn't hear Litok. I didn't was wrong. What do you at the other bar or the catcher was a massa? And your mistake. Yeah, chef, you so electronically, you because when they were generating, there was that sort of mishap in the packaging.
Why did you take it to court?
So I say,
you are not meticulous.
What do you mean? What do you
shows that you are not meticulous.
Or see, I try, or the question electronic, I have spoken to 3 different lawyers. What I say, 3 different lawyers. The best thing for Litok to do is to cross check from the judges. Can I have the floor?
Me too.
The best thing for Litok to do is to cross check from the judges. Said that particular police station code now obono. And no machine is so menu and amensa.
I say so 9.
Asa. And did any Mzambe Brebe? And yes, sir.
Now what to cross some of the parliamentary DB cry for them.
Maza. No, okay. Oh, anti me American say. And then the 4. Yan shed the Ebecoso. But I know in my mind said Dr. Baumia is not going to should I call be scared of lawyers of NDC letter commission for some members. Be a baby son of piano or Tinu was a yin Makumba. We should expedite action as soon as possible. Now be purpose be a casa dentina Jazatuba Abakacha said, or that is said Yakusia Cano. Be the might be catcher me say rules are Yadibe Juman rules of engagement. I would say Dicambansa, you know. Na Yadibe Tuja no be a Juman. But for all you know, they might have done something. But who say we say you said
no crowd will be sending text if Holland will be saying just an additional say Mr. Pratt, please ask Mr. Pratt who envisaged that Tony Lita was going to
use
go on for 5 hours marathon, for the rules to be set.
You don't know. So as and when they come, they'll sit back.
But and also the length of cross-examination and we accept. It is not an issue.
No, but okay, just the length of it matters.
But for as long as the questions are relevant, for as long as the processes are being followed, the length of cross-examination does not matter. It depends on the weight of the evidence. Right. We are talking about complaints about more than 11,000 polling stations.
Yo.
How long do you think the cross-examination will last?
Because see, this is a way of the NDC one trying to delay the process. Clearly.
Oh,
and now,
you 5 hours.
Oh, of course, no,
but questions was it relevant?
Oh, that is his background. You must ask him. No children didn't hear money basa.
Exactly.
So that's it. And your business says, Masa, ni American sa na American no. Me see me using it twice. I use it only one in my analysis. Asa. So you go back and waste everybody's time. Remember, in seminar you dey akoto ho no. Kwajo. Yeah, overvoting.
9.
Overvoting you dey aba no. Ya church mu, you dey nkata nya begu ho. And this formal response, you could not even produce one of the sheets. 2.
Yes, okay.
Me so response on the by no mo ye bibiza.
Omo afa bi anga ho.
Who you be sense when some bibiza ba? Responses. If any biometric voting without going through biometric checks. The response that bibiza ba. Bibiza, bibiza ba.
Hey.
We need to know. We need to know. Signatures are. I want to get the presiding officer signatures. NDC have copies of the pink sheets. Copies now you are producing. Have they been able to show us that particular examples that we've shown? Maybe. Maybe. You must produce it.
Electoral Commission to produce it.
You have your copy.
The pink sheets
and
the
copy now. Produce your copy.
True.
Electoral Commission. Who's for the bra? Near the NCC, near the more dear,
pink sheets. What does it? Last court sitting. But maybe the two. I say signatures was different.
And on my cut and paste.
Yes, raising the question of the possibility.
Bring your own. And appreciate the possibility. What does it? Appreciate the Chemobiabi. Electoral Commission, who were the regional and district directors, who were returning officers, who were district officers, who were a whole a cache of computers. Pulling a season in you can't generate your own information. Fabra to court in the wood river back. And if I would the bra, and if I would the bra, yes, the abba, the young compare the young child.
The electoral commission.
And still on this matter, Kwesi, young Petros for issue statement, we knew so who be a. Is there a producer said Ebrahim
producers almost decide useless statement in Browns if I
was a useless?
Completely useless statement.
What kind?
Nothing. I never said anything.
No, Maminka, be an amount for her and now what me you
want.
Young Petros for
I'm not in court.
Proceed for and show.
I'm not in court. And I object to your giving publicity to a statement which is completely founded on lies. Why? Copies FM online. Nakohe asemwa ye kan.
And it's not me
asemwa ye kan.
Because whether it is true or no, why na wa clear sa asem ni na every opera kope.
Oh, young patriots is there. Why do I waste my time with young patriots? Why do I waste my time? Saddam, John Bodu was studio. Abu Ramadan was studio. Peace FM online reported what was said in the studio. Obitini fiye na say Sebio Tafrache. Or no person can in seminars or can say, why am I going to respond to young patriots? I have no time for them.
It's an opportunity for
if you want to dignify it, it's up to you.
But I message, sir.
Meanwhile, I don't if you want to dignify it,
you pick the thing to read, you read it.
One can say, can you be
Jones, as you say now, you have to coach him to know people behave. Maintain what some say. Kaba, if I am Baumia, I will not allow myself to be used by these people. Oh, now Baumia also more you soon. Okay, another we need your vice president. He is a beneficiary. What can be? Or no, be our board doctor to him so mu use and not so mu use. It's handsome. We are my way free. Jones said, don't call us any baby as some cray and now the about Mamma Hernia. Okay,
Mamma young Peter still. Mammy Kaya. Who is who Kaya for one? I was a former director of operations.
Now I young Pedro.
Oh, would it?
Bonti Benjamin, Mr. Mahama exhibited truly again way in the Mentias. And there's a President Mahama, AD or KSM show. So I say government should spare us all the rhetorics and put up accurate measures that will save Ghana from the series of strike actions and other crises that has bedeviled this country. One way misplaced priorities. Jones said, they should go on and strike. Okay, I'm saying America say me anya dey bit me aka. Because Ibrahim bobo to fani akro no. Imani forcing pipe na do so do. Yemfa practical ways I be Badwam panin na wetimi anya na adwuma.
Masa o mo adwe no.
Oni o me adwe sa.
Oh. Masa many why na make us pipe hu ni mfaso. And as a pipe boy couldn't pempesu bia na abroso. Obi gidie no. No be gidie dey say or the pipe boy tie on my nature na so the town man panin e che ni we ko ya. Won ko so bomb paye. So who's gidie ni say say the practical ideas here. Also for practical ideas, no bra. And sorry, honestly, not any more can as any empire born couldn't pencil be a
Abroso.
Nancy Trasso. Wouldn't wine. Wouldn't wine I will see Buakas empire born couldn't pencil be in Trasso. Obisu or no software. Or in advance of a bumpire. It's your cost from one empire. Now, what would you this a practical friends and solutions in there? Yes, you have practical solutions. Number one, where are someone and also an opportunity to better radio television so I can't answer. The bumpire and answer me a bumpire. Are they?
Any other issue about open so become answer me and where?
That's a mini issue.
You, Mate.
Me train me attack.
What is saying? Trying to catch prayer without action is meaningless. And Papa de here, it's food for the spirit. Say a bumpire. At ya bumpire be no so. There was some opinion in Yamo di Gua Quanzo. Nyama ebeboa. State institutions, Juma ye near the idea. We need imagine ya dream. Institutions of states, and I'm 1 year too. Quite a bit faswa, na pump for we with Juma ye near the idea. Should be looked at solving the problems of this country. It has here. And the near came a near dear, I was here for year to training. As I speak to you now, we are in we are in April. First quarter release, my name is Baby Brago. Baby mobile lift in my car. She works in one of the ministries. Their first release in the first quarter has not been paid. How can they work? You are generating all the revenues through taxes all over the place. And then where it affects the delivery of government services not that here. Who does here? It was here. And then you better ya bobo in some about strikes yourself. About a 200 among quite a faswa. Yabesiano ama doctor see strikes he as what here when Yabakojuma Momaye. This particular one you don't need prayer. We pray. They will back with action. And we are near the back. What does here? And we are the back. And the bomb pines are no near 2-1 among quite a befaswa and Yamania as so much ready at my. And the Yabesre Abay. Bienni, and assume. Non tienama air cosmo. Nature quite a befaswa. Can afford him a toy. You won't dare yet. Maybe I was about the noon there. If I tell maybe I be an unknown there. Because we should. Who's an uncle for being which is one? So does it? If you can see which is
50 million. I saw a thousand.
What does it?
50,000 Ghana.
Million. Who does about me? But also,
request here, message out the me. Yeah, I'm crying, getting cry. Yeah, 50,000 grand. If you go,
won't you ask Gracia? Won't you rent advance?
Sabi. Obi hia mwana wo bia.
Ultima Buano.
Na se wonni bia, wanu kra wo de kasa no kra no. Ebe mana
mara chiche.
Se ontwen kakaka bia wonya kakra wo de beboa no. Enkofo hihye wo. Enkofo bre wo kromo a. Enkofo chemo wo a. So that's it. Kwesi wo be kakra. Kwesi
yankwa na.
Edi enzampi.
Because last week I buy na Iranian president Badwam. Because what one was
me can see no no.
And the first time na me ko question na me.
Me who be about no furata. Police for CID for invite you. And I'm surprised about the selective invitation of certain people in this country.
Why?
But the CID, yes.
Why is this selective?
Kakre somewhere use other network. I can't say about support to coup d'etat in this country. Has he been invited by the police? Question the theory. Has he been invited by the police? To question why he said he's going to support with his money, with his mind, and his law background.
But I can tell you on authority, say, CID for Bam be just a tape, you know.
Masa.
No, okay.
Masa.
Bam be just.
Mesu makai can
Makai
makai ken. Nia ken kai. He has said nothing incriminating. Makai. Now why are they doing that selective invitations? And leave Kakasama off the hook. And then, why is the police being used by the executive to suppress people in this
country? Is that what is going on?
Yes, exactly, that's what is happening. Sadne kosom. Aden.
Na say you invite one.
Please.
Brown, investigation and be yes,
Alliance for Change. They are our principals. Nyama NDC for Aban are suppressing people to come up freely to express their views. No, which are here.
Oh, Massa.
Kwesi, which are there? Look, you've been in this game for a long time.
Yes.
Which I say, and in Yakakana, buying out for police was near court, near suppressing young patrons, Mamuko, Nabona, you triple. Mamuko demonstration. Alliance for Change, Mamuko. Are you not killing people?
Master, we mean 1 minute.
What I say? You are a master in this game. And if the executive is hiding behind the police and do this, it's not worthy. And why? Now the video can support coup d'etat. A legal brain. Kakre samwa. Would the word jano nam. And then I can do aka. And then I waka. And then they want to move friends over.
I'm afraid Captain Kumsin. So
they were friend of Nakaka's way. Me and me can't be a guy over to me. The brother is in me. Nobody can suppress can watch we will speak and defend this country. Yebekasa kasa de yebekasa. Ade na no say obeka ebuche yem. Ade wo say kasa gugu yem. Nyama be akoso e obuchegu karaga. Mr. Babolati, can go and find out secret meetings with Pajeros in Gushegu Karaga. Nyama akoso. I'm following.
Ade na akoso. But what talk to say you're not being fair.
I'm not being fair. They should go and find out. He's a national state god. He should go and find out.
At the end, I cost one the
Me can't
now I can't program country.
And then
over
moment to other what nobody can intimidate anybody in this country.
Master.
Okay.
Master, and some of the banners here can send you a need to sing. Wouldn't say Omaino Embra Pong, a constitution, a more unfettered right to demonstrate. NDC abiding Embra before, and one a public order law, and one Dani and Nikakra.
There's a notify police.
So notify police in here.
5 clear days.
Exactly.
Route.
President Kufuor abiding abreso. One must say no cross after you now need permit from the police to demonstrate. A brand new committee for joint action, and a policy for the court. Justice Badwam or the Supreme Court, or no presiding judge, and about out with a ruling say every demonstration is potentially violent.
Really?
Yes, that High Court ruling is there. Every demonstration at that time he was on the Court of Appeal. And Obetra Seventh High Court.
A supervising High Court judge.
Exactly. His ruling was that every demonstration is potentially violent, and therefore, every organizer of a demonstration needs a police permit. Until no be a mrafufro a daho. Obian Court of Appeal to go and challenge that decision. Eti muma bresono. Niamu pesa mo ye di CCJ kwan se be demonstration no. Enu bia na abebare ye yina besinde. Justice Badwam. That was his ruling. Onem chem. Na se sambre no Justice Badwam yes our ruling no. And ye yinara government and opposition in the interest of free expression here dey ye agree back say nia Justice Badwam ye no enya correct. Yen kasentia. Can they find a fact? Can find a friend is saying young patrons and so on. But because Saturn, MPP were Bemunem pet demonstration. Obia so and Abayamra and Dahwa at the 3 years. Public order law, a brand now NDC for the co parliament. Such anger no more Bam. In that demonstration, near Mao. Opposition, public order law no more the co parliament. And the we NDC for so. Oh. We should act on the basis of principle. Saying now, if you are acting on the basis of principle, I bet Boama can be a member, Yashanama, not Tumpong. Now, you are Bemudi, I've demonstration. Justice Badwam here ruling there, me Peneso, and so on. We both position there, me Peneso. Sadia and Yadi Papa. Anna Massa, and Ukraine, you were the right of free speech and so on. But I know interest with me, I can ya upe biara.
Certainly.
I don't interest. Now say mu mpanimfoɔ mmienu mmiɛnsa mmiɛnnan bi me I don't care which political party they are coming from for as long as they are saying the same things no it's a problem ɛna coup ɛna deɛ masa no condition would justify a coup d'etat no condition would justify a coup d'etat.
We don't even want it in this country.
Exactly.
We don't want it.
And so when mpanimfoɔ a ɔmo te hɔ ɛbɔ mpaeɛ sɛ coup mmra ne adeɛ again the right of speech it doesn't give you the right to go and say certain things ebi a ɛde destabilization bɛba.
But before you fancy na pay fa na session ko fa ma wo ya unya adaje hwe na wo kire wadwen fa text ani email so de bre me ne mu mpanifo a obekan ho studios ma yedin komodidi en bre ora Daniel ni kwatai Titus Glover mrahye bedwani de ma Tema East wo MPP din ma na fe enua pani Kwasi Pra Junior samufo de ma the insight the bokrata akasemanum na nonkron na ya abrefo betena se me de afisem ato so nondu na ye de akona wie na free nondu ko no ne ebi so Supreme Court bia no so no ebebo mu amane na ye de achomidi ni kaba na session ko team of producers, directors, cameramen, sound, light and MCR for bia obo ama ye de South Fan we de brewo kai say Philippians 4 verse 8 and I am in askania wo de ndi hen nyamesha